Welcome to Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering from ELD's Time Vault Games in Bellingham, Mass. Here we have the Wizards leading out with a Preordain against Rangoon Platoon on Blue-Red Delver. Veil of Summer, one of the many new cards that have seen play in Legacy over the last year, and it is the primary reason to play Eureka, a 1-mana cantripping counterspell. I mean, that just does it all. In this matchup, it will effectively be a counterspell. Can also be thrown out there preemptively on occasion to test the waters versus cards like Daze. If you throw out a Veil of Summer first and all they have is a few Dazes, it may turn into a situation where they start throwing the Dazes out there and you just pay the one. Ultimately, you got all the Dazes out of their hand and you draw a card and go to win the next turn. So it's a problem card to play against for sure. Basic Island, a solid start here for Eureka. Preordain for Rangoon Platoon, and now Dreadhorde Arcanist looking to flash it back. Dreadhorde, a very dangerous card, as it generates a tremendous amount of card advantage if given the time. And Force of Will pitching Spell Pierce. That Spell Pierce would have been very nice to be able to throw out. And instead, Veil pushing it through Omniscience. And now Intuition, and Rangoon Platoon has seen this dance many times before, is moving on to the next game. That is a tough spot to be in with a Preordain already in the graveyard. Blue-Red Delver very often needs to put the shields back down on turn 2. That's why that turn 1 Delver is so essential. We saw there Rangoon Platoon had to force pitching their Spell Pierce. If they had a turn 1 Delver, that turn 2 they could have taken the turn off and actually had Spell Pierce and Force of Will available. And then on turn 3... been able to cast a 2-drop like Dreadhorde Arcanist or Young Pyromancer and then continue from there. But those shields being down, ultimately costing Rangoon Platoon, the Dreadhorde Arcanist, an investment that did not pay off, as Eureka had not only the turn 2 kill, but they had the Veil of Summer to back it up. Jumping back in here, cutting out some of the shuffling. The Wizards now consulting on this opening hand, deciding whether or not to keep. Blue-Red Delver has kept their hand. And it is a no-go. This is the Team Trio Open, so Modern, Pioneer, and Legacy. 3 friends playing on the same team in 3 different formats. And man, this has been an incredible response to these events. We got these going starting in December. I threw an event on the calendar just looking to fill up some Sundays, and the response was incredible. By far our most successful events ever. Here we see a hand with Force of Will, Show and Tell, all sorts of quality. Basic Island, Brainstorm for Rangoon Platoon. The Wizards take the opportunity to fetch a basic just in case Stifle is in the opposing list. And Dreadhorde Arcanist on turn 2. A different proposition when you are on the play. Unable to take advantage of this window of being tapped out, and from here this Dreadhorde may be able to ride itself to victory using these, or ride the graveyard to victory using these cantrips to find more and more cantrips, smoothing out the hand, using shuffle effects to just really optimize the hand while finding card advantage. I see Counterbalance. That is very spicy. A fetch land plus counterbalance means there's actually hope to counterspell some of these cards, even if the Wizards has some Force of Wills to back it up. Of course, Veil of Summer can still make it uncounterable, but Veil's actually pretty easy to counter with counterbalance, so this became a very interesting board state very quickly. Will the Wizards be able to figure out a way through this? A Preordain, pre-combat, a very, very dangerous card, as it's actually going to get flashed back during combat, immediately generating card advantage. I have played Curiosity in Vintage before. The ability to just draw an extra card a turn is an avalanche and is going to just stop your opponent from ever reaching the top of the mountain. I mean, it is just constant downward pressure and stopping them from getting anywhere. Every trade, every war of attrition just puts it more and more in your favor. Cards like Wasteland are just so much better when you're outdrawing your opponent 2-1. Same can be said for all of these counter spells. Your Red Blast, your Spell Pierces. At this point, don't be surprised if Rangoon Platoon starts going after the cantrips of the Wizards. Show and Tell. Triggering counterbalance. Oof, and it's a whiff. But there is going to be the ability to shuffle in between here. So first attempt at a counter spell, we have a Predict. Fun little bit of tech there in response to the counterbalance trigger, and now Force of Will. We have a fetch. And now the top of that library, a very dangerous zone. If there's a 1-drop on top. This Veil of Summer, which I'm expecting. There it is, Veil. And another whiff. This counterbalance really not paying dividends yet. Fetch, and then a fetch in response, again making sure to play around Stifle. Another Force of Will, this time pitching Ponder. And no more blue cards for the Wizards. Force stranded in hand. Ponder. And it may be over from here. Could be a slow, slow death at the hands of this Dreadhorde Arcanist. Rangoon Platoon going to be able to reload now. Winning the counter battle and now reloading the hand. And this Predict actually could have been an interesting card. If there was any way of increasing the Dreadhorde Arcanist's power, I don't believe that's going to be likely in this list. I have seen cards like Mutagenic Growth just probably too cutesy, but Predict with counterbalance, very interesting synergy. Young Pyromancer now, and Wasteland going after that City of Traders. And all of these 1-for-1 trades just going to feel super beneficial for Rangoon Platoon. Just continually outdrawing. Lightning Bolt actually just right to the face at this point. Adding a token to the board. And giving another option for Dreadhorde Arcanist, who actually decides to flash back the bolt. And that is going to do it for that game. So Rangoon Platoon winning the early counter war and easily rebuilding to head into game 3. And here we are going into game number 3 here. The Wizards on the play. Fetching out a basic island. For a ponder. Early game decisions with Eureka often end up being part of the late game, as it can often compress the game in just the first 3 turns. The show and tell in hand. So it looks like he can go for it here. He's got City of Traders and Omniscience. I believe that's a Carpet of Flowers on the other side of his hand. That'll immediately pay dividends. You can actually play that for free in this situation. Just casting it off of your tropical... Oh, I guess it would have to be tropical island, so it wouldn't really be for free. Ideally, he wants to drop this City of Traders if he's going to be going for it. And he does have another show and tell. Brainstorm finds Xantid Swarm as well as Force of Will. And this is a really good hand here for the Wizards. Rangoon Platoon going to need not only good cards, but good play to get through this. I imagine we're going to see a Xantid Swarm off of Tropical Island here, which gets dazed. If that other green card is... Oh, Omniscience, Force of Will. If that other green card was a Carpet of Flowers, could have actually cast the Carpet and then second main, gotten the green mana. That could potentially help play around both mana denial and future soft counters like Daze and Spell Pierce. Xantid Swarm covered in bees is Rangoon Platoon. Show and Tell. Putting in Omniscience, Dreadhorde Arcanist. Ooh, and just Carpet of Flowers. So plenty of mana, but nothing to do with it here. Xantid Swarm potentially making things uncounterable for the short term. And Pyroblast takes out the Omniscience. And it looks like Rangoon Platoon may just run away with it from here. The Wizards are going to need an awful lot to rebuild. Xantid Swarm giving a little bit of a glimmer of hope at this point. Young Pyromancer looking to close the door quickly before the uncounterable nature of all of the Wizards' spells potentially find some type of way back into this. All it takes is a Show and Tell plus like a Gristlebrand or Emrakul to put them right back in the game, but that is an awful lot to ask, having already used up all of their resources. Sending again Brainstorm in response to the trigger. Second main, Carpet of Flowers is going to add 3 mana. Getting really close to being able to cast Gristlebrand off of Carpet of Flowers. Those lotus petals going back. Oh, wow. This is a really weird situation. This Cunning Wish could actually go get Shared Summons, and Shared Summons could allow him to cast Gristlebrand off of Carpet of Flowers depending on how much time is left. Cunning Wish grabbing Intuition. Sending Brainstorm off of the Dreadhorde Arcanist adds another token to the battlefield, also gets some more cards into Rangoon Platoon's hand. And this pair of green cards making this a very interesting game. Carpet of Flowers. Oh, and now Gristlebrand can literally just be cast. Oh, he's able to grab a mountain. If he had to grab an island, he would just be able to cast him just with what he has on board. Preordain. No removal for this Xantid Swarm yet. And a Brainstorm again. If he can just find a bolt or some way of getting this Xantid Swarm off the board, it's going to unlock all of these counterspells in his hand. We see at least a Force of Will. And now Ponder. Four tokens added that turn. Xantid Swarm shuts the window for counters for one more turn. Now he's going to have 7 mana to play with. Intuition. Grabbing Gristlebrands. Lotus Petal. Show and Tell. Gets the Gristlebrand. And now spot removal becomes important for a different reason. Rangoon Platoon potentially in striking distance of just swinging and then removing their one creature that gets blocked. This lifelink, a very real threat. I don't know if the Wizards even considered the fact that they could potentially be hard casting Gristlebrand due to Carpet of Flowers. That and Lotus Petal. Ponder for Rangoon Platoon. Dreadhorde Arcanist just flashing back so many cards from the graveyard. But Rangoon Platoon still has a few left. Got a block on Young Pyromancer. And I don't think any life change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maybe 1 point of life down. And another Dreadhorde Arcanist, and a Delver of Secrets, and another Delver of Secrets. So all sorts of threats on board. And the Wizards potentially going to have yet another go at this. This has been a crazy game. It's going to be 4 mana off of Carpet of Flowers. Going to be able to swing and draw 7 post-combat. I mean, I don't think you sleeve up a deck like Eureka unless you're comfortable drawing 7 cards and seeing what happens. Things are not going to get any better just staying at home. Griselbrand's got to get out there, meet new people. Send, trigger. Going to gain 7 life. And I think you actually want to draw your 7 cards before you get that mana. Might change your mind. Oh, and he has enough life to draw 7 more? Holy crap. Our life total has been pushed off screen. There's a show and tell. Into Omniscience, True Name Nemesis comes in on the other side. Cunning Wish. For Shared Summons. And Shared Summons going to grab Emrakul for an incredible match. Wow, that was one of the better matches that I've seen in a while. Thanks for watching it with me. That is all for this one, but don't worry, there is a lot more. You can check out our older videos, and we're always putting out new videos from ELD's Time Vault Games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. If you want to help the channel, of course, you can like, subscribe, share, tap that notification bell so you can know the next time our new videos come out. Thanks for watching.